Welcome to Make Your Mark podcast, where guests share their experiences, insights, and tactics to help you accelerate your business. So building, scaling, and monetizing your business is made easier. And I will be your host, Suthar. Guys, I have this awesome speaker for you today. He has published his own book titled Everyone's an Idiot. He has traveled to over 15 countries. He is also a professional real estate investor and now spends his free time strategizing plans for people's lives through his business, Cam Corp. He is here today to share with us the story of how he mastered using his time and money efficiently to quit his day job at 24 years old. And now he pursues his true passions. Please welcome Cameron Danalis, who is a life strategist, world traveler, serial real estate investor, and now a published author. Oh my God, Cameron, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. So I just want you to quickly, before we go into this, right, let people know what's happened the last week, right? Because we actually booked this recording for last weekend. And I want you to tell people what I said, what happened this week, and why we're back here re-recording this episode.
Yeah, so believe it or not, everybody, we are not perfect. Sometimes, we suck at things, but, that's the first step to learning and be good at things. So what happened is we recorded this podcast together and it went okay. Wasn't amazing. And at the end, she kind of just turned off the recording and goes, "Have you done this often?" I was like, not really. And she was like, "Look, I think you're great, but I can tell." He goes like, I want to re-record this. Well, I'm going to challenge you to go on your Instagram and do Instagram live videos every single day during the week, because I'm not as, camera friendly as I am, personable, if that makes sense. So by doing that, by speaking to these nameless, faceless crowds over and over again every single day for a week, I pretty much killed my camera shyness, and now I believe this to be going much better already.
Right, exactly. Oh my God, like last week, I couldn't even get a smile out of you, right? And now your whole face is just smiling, like there's so much joy and the confidence, right, that you have in just your stature right now has completely changed. Just by doing these videos every single day, you've built your confidence, right? So that is amazing. And I had to highlight that to everyone, because changes can happen as quick as you want them to, but you got to make sure you put action behind it, right? So congratulations on that, Cameron. That is amazing.
Yeah, and I feel like it's worth mentioning too, it was absolute torture. I hated every second of it, but I knew it was necessary. But Kay told me to do it, challenged me. She knew it was right. I knew it was right, even though I didn't want it to be. And a lot of life does come down to that, just accepting the suck and doing what you got to do, and change will come as fast as you want, as you said.
Right. Like awesome. So let's go straight into this. I know people want to know how the hell, you've done so much in such a short time and you're so young, right? And so tell us about, what you were doing before and how you came across building this business that you have now.
So I guess it happened slow and it happened fast. So, it started, I was 16, young, getting out of high school, didn't know what I wanted to do, bounced around. I was actually going to be, my first thing was to be a Massachusetts state trooper.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I got into I wanted to be an economist. I wanted to be an aerospace engineer and help send people to Mars and stuff. And then I was like, and then I wanted to be a real estate agent, and then all these things, and nothing really worked out. So then one day my mother simply was like, "Hey, check out this Air National Guard thing, the Air Force." And I ended up just doing it because I didn't know what else better to do. Went away for 6 to 8 months. I don't exactly remember. But I made, 30, 40 grand during the training, and you don't spend a dime because they pay for everything. You're sleeping there, you're eating there.
Right.
When I returned instead of buying a car or some other, motorcycle or boat like everyone else did, I ended up buying a investment property or putting a, decent down payment on it, and got myself a little Toyota Camry just to get myself around. And that snowballed into what I'm doing now. So I went and worked at a bank for a year, just a regular job, paid decent, was fine. But I obviously knew it wasn't for me. So while I worked that job, I saved up money more and more, ended up buying a second one and quitting the job so I could figure out what I really wanted to do. And then once I was sitting home for, a month or two trying to figure out what I wanted, I ended up typing what would be the first draft or the first chapter of the book. And I was sitting there looking at it and I was like, wow, this really could be something. Right. And then I spent the next 6 months on that.
Wait, I just want you to tell people, this kind of different perspective that you had compared to the rest of your peers. I mean, when you decided to invest, how old were you at that point?
Oh, it was 2019. So what is it, 2 years? So I think I was 22. I bought my first house.
Oh my God. Like how does a 22-year-old do this? Like, why didn't you just want to do everything else that your peers were doing and buying that flash car and spending the money? Where did your perspective come from?
Well, yeah, of course, everyone wants to do those things. That's why they do it. It's fun, right. Fast cars and jet skis and all this. They're exciting. They're exhilarating. So it's not a lack of desire. I attribute it to more of a patience. I'm willing to wait or get them later versus, if I get investment money making things now, I can have 5 jet skis later or even faster car, all that, whatever have you later on. If you put in the work, time, energy, effort, investment now, you can get it tenfold later. If I get a jet ski at 28 instead of 22, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I can always rent a jet ski too, which I've done many, many times. It's like one of my favorite things.
Also, yeah. You're really looking at your long-term goals, right? What you wanted to build for yourself years to come, and not just have that instant temporary satisfaction that I guess a lot of people have when they buy these flash things, right? Is that what you're saying?
In my opinion or perspective, it came down to having a jet ski is awesome or whatever, but it's not as awesome as being able to have your own free time. It's not like I can have a jet ski in a car, but if I'm spending all my hours at a job, what the hell good is it? So I'd rather live frugally or investment and do these things and be able to have my own time versus have objects. Right. Time to me is the most important thing.
So tell me this, Cameron, where did your perspective come from? Was this something that was instilled in you by your parents, your family? Like, how did you have this complete different perspective to everyone else around you?
So I attribute some to myself, but I would be a fool not to mention, like, my parents were great, but they weren't the best with money, but they were fine. But something back in 2008, we did have like a decent amount of money, but then actually ended up losing most, if not all of it, like the home, like the whole 9 yards. Like, so we were living in like a friend's house for a couple of years, which I honestly did not mind at the time. I was going to school, didn't really care. It wasn't a big deal. But it'd be foolish to think that didn't play a role in having, long-term, secure financial freedom and success and all those things. Having that experience can help, solidify certain habits.
Yeah. I guess it was kind of like, that's happened to you once, that you're not going to allow it to happen to you again. Right.
Correct.
And so you decided to, have these different perspectives, do things differently to what your peers are doing, because you didn't want to be in that position again. Right. It was a no-no for you. Like, it's never going to happen again. Okay. I see. So do you then believe that, that you need to go down these, how do I say, dark paths, or, down this rabbit hole, before people can actually make certain changes? Like, do you believe in that? I mean, or does, life can be completely great. You never have any bad experiences, nothing negative happened to you, and you can still be successful. What is your perspective on that?
So that's a great question. I think it's not a requirement, but it almost is. So it's not impossible. So a lot of people who go through the ringer, so to say, end up coming out smarter, wiser, stronger, whatever. So it's a very, very common, I'd say overwhelming majority of people who have those reformations go through those things, but it is not a requirement. And I say that because people can learn from other people's mistakes.
Right.
People can adapt they can see things coming that not necessarily have happened to them yet. So there's always a chance, depending on the individual, to see something, prepare for something, get ahead of something. And, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure type thing.
Right.
So
Okay.
if people have the wherewithal to, listen to people like me or you or other people who've been through worse or better,
Right.
and get those nuggets and be like, okay, here's what happened to him. How do I make sure that doesn't happen to me?
Right. Okay. That's really
Not possible.
interesting. That is interesting. And I'm assuming that you've come across, because you've got clients too, right? You coach clients.
Correct.
And not all of them are going to have, those deep-seated, sad kind of experiences, stories. Everyone has a different story. Everyone has different experiences, but you don't have to necessarily be homeless in order to be successful in business, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, Cameron, I heard that, you have the ability to mold perspective. What does that actually mean?
It means, so for example, even when I was younger, let's say living, going from houses and cool, like beach houses and these cool things to living in someone else's like house, they're kind of just doing us a favor.
Right.
I never minded because it could always be so much worse, like
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of history and I read about, other 22, 20, whatever year olds, you know, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. And even our worst most days is better than most of human history's best. Like, still being able to eat, clothes, warm, house, going to school, getting educated, I had a cheap $1,000 car, 1990 Lexus. But it worked. I got around, like there's nothing most people are as happy as they choose to be.
Right. Oh, I love that. Yeah. And I guess when you start thinking about how people live, I guess, in these like third world countries, where they have to walk miles away to just get some water, and we just have to turn on the tap, right? It does.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
puts things into perspective, and also it just shows you how really easy we have it compared to how other people are living, right? And so
For sure.
the problems that we tell ourselves are huge issues and we don't have to resolve, people in third world countries would love to have these problems, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, again, going back to being grateful and actually just looking at it in a different perspective, just like you say, and putting yourselves in someone else's shoes that's worse off, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. That's really awesome that, you use that comparison. So tell me this, Cameron, what qualifies you as an expert in this field?
To put it simply, my own life, like not everyone is in the position where, they're 24 years old. I could comfortably just sit in this house and rot away for the rest of my life. Like but I choose to do these things with my time, but, I have a choice, the freedom of choice, the freedom of time. My own life is a living testimony, I think, to the power of what I'm saying. Like if you, even at a young age, even though we lost everything, I didn't get any other than, I didn't get any financial special treatment. I didn't get any giftings, I went to a community college, I did the financial aid stuff. Anyone can join the military. Foreign people can join the United States military and earn their citizenship that way.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
and they'll get paid the whole time. A lot of people don't know that. We had a Japanese guy that come in, he got his citizenship and it was great. So I didn't do literally anything that almost anyone in the Western world couldn't do myself. they can't do anything I haven't done. It's
Right.
just a matter of the discipline and the actual perspective and the mindset of actually doing it.
Right. Oh, amazing. So, Cameron, what is your next step? What are your goals? What do you want to do, next in your life? Because I mean, you're so young, right? The world is literally your oyster. You could do anything. So, what is your next goal that you want to achieve?
So yeah, part of the reason I've been doing these podcasts is to, build my online presence and network, and even meeting you has been a joy. But, I wrote this book. Yeah, I wrote the book. So I'm trying to sell the book and build my online presence because as I wrote in there, I want to help people. I believe it or not, people, younger than you have experience and can perceive certain things. And the book is full of perspective and advice and ideas, strategies, mindsets. And I want to give that to other people. I want other people to have that so they can, just maximize their own potential in their own lives. And that's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want people to see it. I want people to read the words. I want people to adapt those things into their life. And the ultimate end goal is I would like to help people.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Amazing. I love that. Now, if there was one principle that you could teach to our audience today that they can relate to and apply immediately into their own business, what would that be?
It's kind of like the brother of perspective, but appreciation,
Ah,
like being able to appreciate the fact that we're doing what we're doing, enjoying and taking pride in what we have, even the bad things, that's what separates I think the success from the failures is if you can enjoy the hardships because you chose them and that is your, that freedom of choice to suffer the way everyone has to suffer, but choosing the way you suffer is a luxury many don't have.
ah,
So being able to appreciate that, appreciate the good, appreciate the bad, not everyone gets to start a business or a podcast or an art studio or whatever the hell it is you're doing.
right.
Don't lose sight of that. You can't. It's
Okay.
death.
So you mentioned, appreciating what you have. How is someone supposed to start this? That what do you do if someone has no idea how to start appreciating what they have and they say, oh yeah, of course I appreciate things. I appreciate everything that I have, but they don't really. I mean, how does someone start really appreciating and being grateful for all the things that they have?
That's a great question. I guess there's multiple ways to go about it. I think most people deep down know whether they appreciate things or not, or if just you kind of just go through the motions every day and take things for granted per se.
Mm.
But this simple as some friends and I used to text each other every morning, like 3 things we're grateful for. And it could be, cell phones, food, water, eyes. We saw like if we went somewhere and we saw like a blind man and we're just like, how great is it to see? You know what I mean? How like, dogs, water, anything, computers, like satellites. There's so much, even our modern cushy daily lives are just completely made possible because of these things that we hardly understand. Like, do you know how we see each other right now? How are you seeing me? How are you hearing my voice? We have no idea. It's crazy. Like,
But
start thinking,
I have
think
a
big
mic,
and small picture.
camera, and it just works. Camera.
Exactly. Yeah. So being able to think big and small picture, like, how the hell are you able to see us right now versus also like, how am I speaking? How am I breathing? You have cells going on. Like there's so many infinite different directions, or even just, 100 years ago, the year was 1921. I think World War I had just ended. Millions of people died 100 years ago. Like there's people that have lived older than that. There's people alive now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So what I'm hearing from you is that it doesn't have to be the big things. You don't have to have a mansion to be grateful, right? It can be the smallest things, being able to just turn on a tap to drink some water, right? To be able to just, walk up the street, to be able
exactly.
to, have, know that you've got food in your stomach and you've got a roof over your head, a comfortable bed to sleep on, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where you are in life, whether you've built your business, to 6, 7 figures, or if you're just starting out, there's always something to be grateful. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a bike ride every now and again, or like sometimes I'll bike to the gym, but like I'm just like look at the trees and stuff. I'm just like it's beautiful.
Right.
I went to Honduras once in Latin America and helped it was like a mission trip. So we ended up building a school for all these like impoverished people. And you know, the Hollywood stereotypes are 100% true. Like, it was like mud houses with tin roofs and all like the whole 9 yards. Nicest, sweetest, most appreciative, smiling, grateful people I have ever met in my life.
Wow.
Like it put me to shame, and I think about it to this day. And you know, I just think about my peers, our peers, and how much they just take for granted. It's really it's shameful in a way, but it's eye opening in another.
Yes, I agree, definitely. It does, again, put things into perspective, right? When you see
Yes.
how other people are living. And so going from that, do you have maybe a couple success stories that you can share with us that you've had with your clients recently?
Yes. So one is this young lady. She's a little younger. She's probably 21. So
Okay.
she has just she went to school. She was about to get out, I believe, and she ended up having to choose where she wants to work in the whole country. It's a big country. You know, you can go East Coast, West Coast, like
Right.
Texas, South. You know, Great Lakes area, like the Great Plains. Like there's so many areas, and she basically had to pick one
Hmm.
to do her practice, and that's a tough call to make because you can't. Switching is a
Right.
hard deal in her career field. So long story short, we had to like it took a little while, but we had to sit down, like map out, you know, where's family, where's friends, where's money, where's happy, you know, where
Yeah.
do you want to be? And it's not an easy question. So together we over the course of some time figured that out. And then once she chose a place, we figured out like, you know, where what kind of what kind of place do you want to live? What kind of job? What kind of so I just basically helped walk her through that situation because so many people don't have they have nothing, they have no one or nothing to go off of. You know, her parents helped the best they could, but they don't, you know, they just some people don't know. There's no experience, there's no understanding. It's like she had like, yeah.
So where did
So
you move to?
she moved to the East Coast, actually near Boston, and she
Oh,
makes good money.
yeah.
She's not too far from family. She's got some friends out there, and as far as I can tell, she's happy with her decisions. But
Oh,
yeah, oh yeah, over the course of some time, we walked that out together, and I'm happy to say I believe I made an impact. And you
yes.
know,
I'm sure you did. Oh, that's awesome. So she kind of basically narrowed it down with you. Again, you put things into perspective for her. She then realized where she would be comfortable moving to. She was around family, she was around friends, and she's now continuing her practice and actually really happy where she's at right now.
yeah, skipping most of the details. Yeah, it sounds like simpler, but yeah, yes,
Yeah. Well, it is simple if you know how to do it, right?
yeah. I suppose that's
You
right.
know,
Yeah,
and that's what you're coaching people doing. Like, it doesn't need to be that difficult. As human beings, we have, this instinct of making things, everything so difficult and complicated as human beings. And you're basically there to say to people, well, you know what? I can simplify it for you, right?
yeah.
It doesn't need,
Controlling the chaos.
right, exactly. And so you're really a catalyst in helping people to make a decision.
That's what I'm going for. Yeah, one of the
Yeah.
things.
Awesome. I like that. So I know at this point, Cameron, people are probably thinking, how the hell do I get hold of him? If I need help, if I need to have someone to help me put things in perspective, where do I go? So do you have any maybe additional free support out there for people, or do you have a website that people can go to and maybe reach out to you? Where do they go to speak to you?
So I do have a website, CameronDanalis.com. It's pretty much got everything on there. There's a link to the book. There's my Instagram. There's a section where you can email me. You know, if you have a simple one-off question, fire it away. You know, like, see what happens. I do life strategy for people. I do have what I call $1,000 to change your life program,
Ooh,
where essentially it's $1,000 and you get 10 1 hour like sessions where essentially, you know, we'll talk, I'll get to know you, we'll figure out your situation, I'll kind of get a read on you, and I'll help, you know, figure out what's best. As for free things, you know, I said email, you can email me anything. I don't, you know, I'm just a person, you know, I'm a guy. So shoot me a hello, shoot me a, you know, middle finger. We'll, you know, shoot me a question. You can read the first chapter of the book for free on Amazon if you click the picture and scroll down. So yeah, but yeah, CameronDanalis.com pretty much got it all.
All right, amazing. And guys, just to let you know, if you did miss any of the links that Cameron mentioned, they will be in the show notes. All you have to do is scroll down and they'll all be there. Cameron, it was amazing having you on the show. Thank you for coming along.
Of course. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for listening to Make Your Mark podcast at www.makeyourmarkpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you in advance for all the reviews and comments. I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.